Hello, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the commentary hub. We're here, JB John Stuttard, back in the commentary box after a little spell away, but I'm back. I'm ready to go in the opening into the closing stages of the World Cup. Where we're not far off now, the last 16, as we come to the conclusion of Group H today. We've got two games. We've got one live for you, and that's with me and Russ Vernon. We've got South Korea, Portugal live for you in around about just over 10 minutes from now. Korea against Portugal, a game that South Korea need to win. Portugal already there, but do include a few star names. Cristiano Ronaldo certainly being one of those names, and I'm glad for the game's going to be that he's up front because he's always worth the admission fee alone. As for South Korea, they've had to put their strongest side out. Sung Yun Min will skip it aside. He's also vastly experienced with well over 100 caps to his name. He could be a difference. Now, for South Korea to qualify, they'd have to hope and pray that Ghana don't obviously beat Uruguay, of course, and hope they get a better goal swing as well. They need to beat Portugal pretty well, you would think. But you never know. You never know in this game. But we saw all sorts of twists and turns in the Spanish and German groups last night and all the controversies that have come with that. And, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But we're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Alongside me here in this in the Education Stadium is Russ Vernon alongside me. It's nice to be back with you, Russ.
Good to be back with you as well, really my friend.
Yeah. Now, what about South Korea? I mean, Portugal already through, but they are putting out a few big guns, obviously. But what really South Korea need to do is win the game and just hope, isn't it? It's a question of win and hope for South Korea, isn't it?
It is, JB, yes, and they've gone with the strongest possible lineup, which you would expect South Korea to do with this a must-win game for them this afternoon. They've gone really well, gone strong at the top, gone strong, like the Sun Yun Min starting. I'm surprised now Wang Yi-chan, another player who plays in the Premier League, is not starting for them of Wolves. So I'm surprised he's not playing today. I thought he's not played a minute of this tournament yet, so I thought he might get a run out today. But and I've noticed as well, JB, before kick-off, which when you'll go through the teams very shortly, South Korea have got 4 Kims in the starting lineup and 1 Kim on the bench. So it's going to be fun picking out those players today.
Yeah, no one envies me that task, I tell you. That's for sure. Anyway, if you're wondering if we're doing updates of Uruguay against Ghana, don't despair because our brilliant commentator from last night, who did a remarkably good job on the Germany game, if you listened to us last night on all the TCL platforms, Paul James is going to join us now. He's going to give you all the team lineups. Good afternoon, Paul. Good evening.
Good afternoon, JB. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Russ. Thank you very much for that feedback, JB. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, just before we get to you for the team news, initial thoughts on the Germany exit. I mean, how are the emotions as regards, first of all, yourself? Of course, you're sort of really, you are invested in the German side as well. And of course, the reaction back in Germany to what's really been, a second early tournament World Cup exit in 2 World Cups. I mean, what's gone wrong?
Well, as for myself, JB, I wasn't feeling great last night, and I'm not feeling great this morning, Albert, to be honest. But I mean, it's down to really, I think, the fact that Germany did not take their chances. They had so many. And poor defending. Hansi Flick said the exit was determined within the first 20 minutes of the Japan game, which I'm not entirely surprised at. I agree with that completely. I'm glad to see that he's not stepping down. Now, whether the DFB will ask him to leave his position, I don't know. But he said he's not stepping down. And I'm glad to hear that because I don't think the issue is with the coaches. I don't think there's a lot of talent coming through in Germany as a whole, young talent coming through. And I think the team needs rebuilding. I would like to take my hat off and give my heartfelt thanks to Thomas Müller for his sacrifice to the national team, his service and his goals. It could very well have been his last game for Germany.
Yeah.
So Thanks very much.
We echo Thomas Muller, World Cup legend and a winner as well in his own right. Okay then, Paul, the team news for Uruguay against Ghana. Life goes on.
Absolutely. Here it comes. Ghana is 2 changes for Ghana. Manasseh and Lamptey are out. Rahman and Saidu are in. And they are managed by Otto Adad. They've got Lawrence Alt-Ziggy in goal, Mohamed Salisu, Baba Rahman, Daniel Amati, Seydou Alidou, Thomas Partey, Jordan Ayew, Andre Ayew, the captain, Kudus Mohammed, Salis Abdul Samed and Anaki Williams make up the Ghana lineup. For Uruguay, they have rang in the changes, 4 of them all together. They are managed by Daniel Alonso. They have Sergio Rocher in goal, Jose Jimenez, Julemo Valea, got there in the end, Mateus Oliveira, Sebastian Coates, Rodrigo Betancourt, Georgian Dia Araceta, Federico Valverde, and Facundo Palistri. Luis Suarez plays today. He's got the captain's armband. And Darwin Núñez is also in the lineup today. Just to be clear, a win for Uruguay will be enough, providing South Korea don't beat Portugal. If South Korea don't beat Portugal, then if South Korea do beat Portugal, Uruguay will need to win by a bigger amount. As for Ghana, a win will be enough for them as long as Korea don't beat Portugal. Again, this all could come down conceivably to fair play, and Ghana have 6 yellow cards on the book right now. So it is Ghana versus Uruguay. Back to you, JB.
Yes, it's going to. Thank you, Paul. Yes, it's all going to be complicated, all this stuff, but it's all. But the good thing about the games being played simultaneously is that we all know what everyone needs. It's not going to be like a repeat of '82 where West Germany and Austria just played out a dull 1-0 when both teams knew exactly what they needed. Both teams in those days should have been thrown out by FIFA, but when does FIFA and controversy ever go hand in hand? So we're all set to go then. We've got our teams out. We'll give you the 2 lineups for our game in a minute. But first of all, we're just going to pause for a moment and bring you the 2 national anthems live for you right now. Now, South Korea, we're gonna hear their anthem now. Just a second here, as we now hear their anthem now. What? No. This will cause any problems. Well, I hope you heard the anthems very loud and clear. Let's take a check on the two lineups. There's the referee from Argentina, I should say. Fernando Tello. I'll give you the full list of officials in a moment or two. But what I will say is that both sets of supporters sung their things. And I should tell you that last anthem you heard then was the Portuguese national anthem as rather than the South Korean national anthem. Let's check on the two teams, starting with South Korea. They've got Kim Sung-ju in goal. And then it's a back four of Kim Ji-sung, Kwan Young-won, Kim Young-won, and Kim Moon-wang. And then in the midfield, we've got Ang In-bom, Lee Jin-sung, Lee Kwang-in, and Jung Woo-young. Sung Yeon-min, of course, will play on as well, and number 7. And Chung Gu-sung will play further forward as well. That's their lineup. I won't go through the substitutes because there's just too many to mention, but there's Facundo Tello from Argentinian, Equiel Boloski, Gabriel Charade, the two assistants, both from Argentina. Maguette Ndiaye from Senegal is our fourth official, and VAR is led by Nicolas Gallo from Colombia. Okay, let's take a check on the Portugal side. Diego Costa starts in goal for them, winning his 10th cap tonight. Above the two more experienced goalkeepers in the side were Patricio and Jose Sá of Wolves. A back four of Diego Dallo, Antonio Silva, Pepe and Yao Cancelo. In the midfield, we've got Yao Mario, formerly of West Ham, Ruben Neves of Wolves, and Mateus Nunes also of Wolves, and Ricardo Horta, Cristiano Ronaldo winning his 194th cap tonight, and Vitinha are the men up front. No Pereira, Mendes or Oriaro, they're both all suspended or injured. And Fernando Santos, who's now into his 9th year as Portugal coach, who's now 68 years old. He may be on borrowed time. There's Sung Yeon-min of Tottenham, scored 3 goals in the tournament. And they have and also another plot in the twist here, Russ. Paulo Bento, 53 years old, former Portuguese international with 35 caps. Could he bring about a surprise defeat today? But you've heard the lineups, you've heard the team. What are your feelings about this game?
I think South Korea, when I've seen South Korea so far, JB, they have looked to cause a few problems in the other games, and I think they'll try and do that again today and try and unsettle this Portuguese lineup against this afternoon.
Yes, and we're all set to go then. We're about 4 seconds away from the kickoff. It's going to be South Korea in all red, Portugal in their change shirts up all white, and away we go. South Korea kicking off, going towards the right-hand side. And what a game this promises to be. Remember, Korea need to win and hope other results go their way for them to qualify. Portugal, let me remind you, are there. Uruguay have to win. And also the fact that Ghana could possibly draw and still go through, depending on how Portugal dispose of Korea. But it could, as Paul said in his intro before the game, and we'll be going to Paul at regular intervals to obviously get updates on the other game. And no rest for the wicked for Paul James. Just to remind you that we're all on the every TCL platform. Just to remind you on YouTube, we're on the Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports and Storm FM. And we're also live on Twitch. Just to remind you, and you'll also hear updates all on those things. And also, this isn't the only live offering we've got for you tonight, because at around about 6:45, Nicholas Jones will be bringing you Brazil against Cameroon, and what a game that promises to be. As the ball now breaks to number 10 here, Lee Jae-sung. Now Sung Yeon-min, the captain, has it on the right-hand side. Number 15 has it. Kim Moon-wang plays the ball in field, but the ball is won there by number 6, number 16, Vitinha, and the referee is blown for a free kick there. I think there was a foul there by Cancelo. Oh, there were foul on Cancelo, but take your choice from 2 there, as Vitinha had knocked the ball away as the whistle went. So it was a Portuguese free kick rather than a Korean free kick. Portugal, though, have made no fewer than 6 changes from the second game. Obviously, Paulo Bentos, Fernando Santos knows that his team are safely free, but obviously he's kept 5 of his big guns in the 11. I mean, amongst the substitutes, you've got the likes of Ruben Diaz, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and João Felix in there. So, if things are going horribly wrong, Russ, at any point during the game, he's got at least 4 or 5 big guns he can obviously rely on. And obviously Russ isn't with us, but we'll try and get Russ back as soon as we can for his comments, as the ball is now fed to them. We had him there for a second, but we've lost him again. So until we get him back, I'll stick with the commentary here as Pepe, who's now winning his 130th cap today, goes forward. The ball out for a throw-in. Let me just tell you that it's 6 o'clock in Qatar. So we are in the evening in Qatar, but it is 3 o'clock here in Great Britain. Here's Ronaldo, right-hand side, producing all the skills that we've all come to respect from him now. 194th cap. He scored a whopping 118 goals for his country, which I don't see it being betted in any other nation in any international football. I don't know how many Messi has got for Argentina, but I don't think it's in that league of 118 that Ronaldo's got. Of course, without a club, he's also in the middle for this cross coming in from the right. That's well taken by Kim Sung-ju. Well, we've had about 3.5 minutes here on the TC Hub. And, well, Russ, early impressions?
Yes, it's been a good start, JB, from both sides here in this game. I've been impressed with how both teams have started. They've looked to get on the front foot, and Korea defended really well there as that ball coming from the right-hand side. So I'm looking forward to this one, JB, and I think Portugal will look to try and cause a few problems of their own, like Korea will do this afternoon.
Absolutely. Should be a cracking game. This one, that is for sure. Long ball forward, and the ball might be chased here, but it's out of play, and it will be a goal kick. And there's Paulo Bento, the Korean manager. As I say, he's 53 years old, the former Portuguese international. 35 caps for Portugal as well. So that's the situation at the moment, as Portugal keep the ball in play. It's certainly been a very good start to the game, no doubt about that. But I have to say we've got a good game here developing here. That's for sure. So and Portugal have scored. They've scored early on in almost the 5th minute of the game, and what a start for them! What a fantastic start! And Portugal now have got what they needed, an early goal, and it's Ricardo Horta with his 2nd goal in Portugal colours. The ball was knocked forward by Pepe. They're checking for offside. I don't think he was offside at all there. The ball was crossed in from the right-hand side, and Horta from 6 yards out, Russ, made absolutely no mistake, and Korea have made the worst possible start. It's Korea 0, Portugal 1, with just over 6 minutes almost played.
Yes, fantastic bit of play down the right-hand side from Portugal. It was a wonderful ball back across. It's clearly onside for me, and Horta into the side today, made no mistake in firing past Kim in the goal, and Korea have it all to do now. They're bottom of the table as things stand. Is Korea 0, Portugal 1, and a fantastic possible start for Portugal in what is needed today.
Okay, let's just go away from this game as well and get the early thoughts of Paul James on Uruguay against Ghana.
Thanks, JB. Not much going on here. Darwin Núñez attempted to break into the box after just 2 minutes. He fell over. He was claiming a foul. It was not a foul. The most entertainment, that's really been it with JB. The most entertainment I've seen so far is the news of the Portugal goal filtering through to both sets of fans who are obviously delighted. Little chance here now. Uruguay getting into the penalty area. It's pulled back there. Polisi tried to pull the ball back, but nobody was there. So it's still Ghana 0, Uruguay 0. 8 minutes gone here, JB.
Yeah, still 1-0 at the moment, and really it's really been tough at the moment for Korea at the moment. But Portugal looking in fine fettle and showing no mercy at this moment in time. As Korea have it now on the edge of the penalty box, and the ball's spread out now, and the ball played in towards Sun Yeon-min, and what's that taking a deflection off? No one, I don't think. It's a goal kick. No goal kick given, and we've had nearly 8 minutes of the first half. Well, Korea, they had a mountain to climb. They've got one now, that's for sure. Portugal really in this opening stage is really showing no mercy. You're listening to the TC Hub here live, Friday afternoon football, or Thursday afternoon. I think it's Friday afternoon. Yes, it's Friday afternoon football. Beginning to wonder about me dates at the moment. Don't forget Brazil, Cameroon with Nicholas Jones. That's around about 10-7 this evening, and that'll be a really treat for you listeners out there to enjoy on all TC Hub platforms. Nicholas Jones, who's done a tremendous job and will be with me on Saturday for England against Senegal. What a game that promises to be, as well as England look to book themselves a quarter-final berth. You'll be able to hear that one from 7 o'clock Sunday evening as Lee Ji-sung plays the ball into the penalty area. It's headed away by the Portuguese defence. And already South Korea having to play catch-up. They will have to pour men forward even at this early stage now to try and hunt out an equaliser. Ball played in there, but Diego Costa, only 10 caps to his credit. He's got the nod ahead of Rui Patricio and Jose Sá. Well, was Rui Patricio, a former Wolves keeper, and Jose Sá, the current Wolves goalkeeper. More vastly experienced than Diego Costa is, but Costa getting the nod, winning his 10th cap tonight. But it's South Korean possession, I should say. It's South Korea having the better of the possession at the moment, but the ball out of play for a throw into Portugal. But South Korea dominated possession, Russ, but not really penetrating that Portuguese defence.
No, they're not, JB, and you're actually quite right. They're having a lot of possession, as you mentioned, but they don't really seem to know how to use that possession when they've got it. They're trying to look for Sun all the time, but Portugal are well aware of that fact, and they're just going to keep cutting it out, as we've just seen the goal again. And Diego Dalot was to pull the ball back to Orta, so good assist there for Dalot, the Manchester United player, who's come under a bit of flack recently for Manchester United under some of his performances, but he has started well this game for Portugal, and he's looked good in this competition so far for him as well.
He has, and it's been a really interesting. Yeah, it's been really interesting, really, that Portugal have been really ruthless in their 2 games so far, and they've been really ruthless tonight when they've had to go forward, and they've had the one attack, and Horta getting the goal there. That's his 2nd goal for his country in only his 7th international. So maybe there might be life for Portugal after Ronaldo. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, here come Portugal again. Ball tried to be spread out towards the far side, but the ball now the ball is chased by Mario, and it's back now with Kim Sung-ju. That is a pronunciation and a half. Now King Ji-soo. The ball knocked forward again, and João Cancelo of Manchester City cuts that one out. And already the ball played in. Just going to have to go off for a minute, Russ. Got a phone call.
As we bring you this game, is Russ Wayne just taking over for a moment as South Korea just trying to get into possession. It's João Cancelo coming forward for Portugal over on this near side. It's played into the back towards him, and Portugal just keeping the ball at the back, just knocking around well, and Portugal just keeping hold of possession quite well. It is Pepe now for them into the midfield, and now Ruben Neves plays it across now to the left centre back, and Antonio Silva, who's got the ball into Diego João Cancelo, should I say. Cancelo is fouled, and that was a definite free kick there. As we bring you this game, JB will be back with us shortly. Just a few technical issues from his end at the moment in time. As we see South Korea 0, Portugal 1. He's into Ruben Neves, so we'll just knock the ball back to Pepe, and just a bit of early possession for them. 12 minutes gone here. Portugal still lead by that goal to 0 thanks to Ricardo Horta on 6 minutes. And the poor ball forward from João Cancelo goes behind for a goal kick. 12 minutes gone in this one. 12 minutes gone as well, I think, in the other game. Let's go and get another quick update from our man, Paul James, who can tell us whether the latest is there. Paul.
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, again, there's still not been much happening here. Both sides are huffing and puffing, but they're really cancelling each other out. There was a last-ditch tackle by Seydou, which stopped Darwin Núñez, who's been fairly lively early on, from breaking in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Alt Ziggy. It was really, to be honest with you, Darwin Núñez is causing quite a bit of havoc in the defence. He was able to break clear, and it was a wonderful last-ditch tackle by Seydou to prevent him getting one-on-one with Ziggy. With that in mind, Ghana haven't really created much. Neither side really has, so it's still 0-0 with 14 minutes gone, Russ.
Yes, thank you. It's JB now, back on the mic. Sorry about I had to just leave for a second, but I'm back now. So still 0-0 in that other game, as Paul James has mentioned. It's still 1-0 here in the Education Stadium here in Doha. World Cup Group H almost coming to a close. Of course, we've got one more group to sort out. That's Group G, of course, Brazil, Cameroon, and the updates from the other game, all with Nicholas Jones later on. And then Saturday and Sunday is the start of the last 16 as this World Cup really now comes into its own with some really cracking games coming up. And, of course, I'll be behind the mic for the big one on Sunday night as England take on Senegal, and we'll be live with Nicholas Jones and Luke Jerton later on as Cancelo turns and twists into the penalty area, forces a save from his cross there, which Kim Sung-ju had to flick away. And it's back again now with number 24 on the ball, Antonio Silva. The ball spread out now towards Cancelo again, takes it down casually on the chest, but the referee has spotted something awry, and offside, I think, it's been given by one of the Argentine officials. And with coming up to nearly a quarter of an hour gone, Russ, Portugal again looking threatening on the counter-attack.
The RJB, they're causing a few problems down the left-hand side. João Cancelo getting into the penalty area on that occasion, and his ball, of course, was punched away by Kim there. But South Korea need to be better defensively if they ought to get anything out of this game. They are looking a bit sluggish and a bit shaky at the back every time Portugal come forward. Looks like Portugal can score, but Portugal still lead by that goal to 0 early on here.
They do, and here's number 10 now. Here's Ji-sung to number 15, Kim Moon Wang. And now the ball played forward by Woo Young, and now Sung Yeon-min has it on the far side. Sung Yeon-min tried to cut inside from the left and shoot, but it was well blocked by the Portuguese defence. Korea having plenty of possession and passing a lot, but it's all going a bit sideways at the moment. Sung Yeon-min is getting behind though. Sung Yeon-min in the area, good challenge again. And it was Dalot who got back there to deny Sung Yeon-min, who have played against him a few times in the Premier League with Manchester United. Son was definitely onside there because Soa was playing them on. So they've got to be wary of the offside as well. Sung Yeon-min actually wearing a protective mask, of course, to protect a facial injury that he's got. And it's going to be a corner to be taken by the aforementioned Son. There are 5-6 careers inside the penalty area. He's gone short here to number 18, Kang In. And now Son played it in and a flick on, and it's going to be tapped in. They appeal for offside, and I think it is offside. The goal will not stand, but a real indication of the Korean threat Costa got a good glove on it, but there were 2 Korean players, I think, on the goal line that were offside, and Korea quite rightly, in fact, I think Russ denied by the flag as the ball came in. It was the number 9 who got the first header in, Gu Sung, and take your choice on the second phase from 2 of them, Russ.
Yes, and I think the one who put it in, the number 3 at the back post, JB, when that flick came in, he was in an offside position, and that's why, and he was the one who put it in, and that's why the goal was disallowed. But I think if the number 5 had put it in, I think the goal may have stood because he would have been onside from the initial phase of play.
Possibly, but he looked a bit offside as well, to be fair, Will Young. But offside it is, and I think it was the right decision. And Fernando Santos will not be unhappy, Bonnie, with that. Not with the defending anyway, even though the goal wasn't going to stand at that point. But there you go, snakes and roundabouts. Pepe now just in possession now, uses number 23, Nunes. Nunes turns. Again, the ball goes back to Diego Costa. Remember, Portugal, if they do hang on and win tonight, or extend the lead, or win handsomely, or win scrappily, they will go to 9 points, and they'll get the maximum amount of points out of that. Plus and they'll get probably a decent run in the draw as well. But Korea obviously will bow out, and they need something now. Remember, they won 1-0 last time they met in 2002, 20 years ago. Park Ji-sung, who's in the crowd tonight watching along, he was in the Korean side that won the game. In fact, he got the goal. It was won in rather controversial fashion, which knocked Portugal out the group phases, and then they went on to controversially knock out Italy and Spain. And they needed a lot of luck. And then the Germans ended their interest in the semi-finals. There was a lot of controversy in the way they got to the semi-finals, South Korea. In fact, the man who got the goal against Italy played for Perugia, whose president actually sacked him. Would you believe? So there was an interesting story. But there was a lot of controversy about that. And a lot of Portuguese, Italians, and Spaniards still will protest how Korea run those games to this very day. Here's Costa, who gives it a big boot welly with his right foot, not forward again. And South Korea really need to just keep playing calm, keep calm. They know they're still in it if they can get one back here. Son Heung-min's on the chase, but the ball beats him out of play on the left-hand side, and it's a goal kick to Portugal. So we've had nearly 20 minutes here on the TCO, Russ, and Korea, for all their endeavours and possession, no real end product, even though they've had the ball in the net. But if they keep what do you think they need to do? Do they not need to panic or rush? Because there's still a long way to go in this, isn't there?
Yes, there is still a long way to go in this one, JB. And I think you're quite right. They don't need to panic, don't need to rush. They've still got plenty of time to get back into this game. I know Portugal have got threats going forward as well, but I know that Korea can just take the time in possession instead of trying to rush it and trying to get it to Sun all the time. Then I think they could have a really good chance of getting back into this game. I've seen there's been an incident in the other game, JB, if we go across and get a quick update from Paul James in a second.
We'll just see this attack out from Korea, and then we'll go and join Paul in a second. Here's Son Heung-min, and he keeps possession nicely. He's got an overlap and runner, but he plays it in field to Kan Hing, and Kan Hing now just get it out to number 3 here. Kim Ji-soo plays it into the box. Pepe heads it out, and as soon as the ball is out of play, we'll cross to Paul. There has been a significant incident in that Uruguay-Ghana game. Obviously, Ghana know that if they can win, combined with a Portuguese victory, then they're safely through as things would stand. But at the moment, it doesn't look as if Korea are looking anytime soon to break them down. But we'll just stick with it right now because they are in the final phase. Son Heung-min trying to through the Ronaldo step over here. Maybe trying to take a trick against his opposite number at this stage. But at the moment, they're playing the ball sideways. We'll just see what happens in the next sort of 15 seconds where this attack may well go. And then we'll cross to Paul. I don't think it's going to... I think it's petered out, to be quite honest. So we're going to cross now to Paul James for the updates from Uruguay, Ghana. Paul.
Thanks, JB. Well, there was a penalty. The VAR initially had to get involved because the referee didn't give it. But the shot came in from Williams. Roche spilled it. And then Kudos was tripped up by the goalkeeper as he followed up for the rebound. Following the VAR check, it was given after the referee looked at it again. The penalty was taken by Andre Ayew. It really wasn't the greatest penalty. And it was comfortably saved by Roche down to his left-hand side. Shortly after that, on the 22nd minute, Darwin Núñez, once again causing havoc in the Ghana penalty area, managed to flick the ball over Ziggy and was cleared off the line by Salisu, the Southampton defender. And we are still 0-0, Russ, but this game has finally woken up. 24 minutes gone.
It is, and I have to say, me and Russ have just watched that penalty. It wasn't the best penalty we've ever seen, is it?
No, JB, it wasn't the best penalty. I'm surprised it was just like a pass back for me, JB, that penalty there from Ghana. I'll just break off as Portugal come on the attack.
Yes, Portugal on the attack again. And it's João Cancelo of Manchester City on the left-hand side. The ball laid in there towards Ronaldo, and it's knocked away for a corner to South Korea, to Portugal rather. South Korea knocking it away. It was Kun Won who got back in the nick of time and got it away. And Ronaldo, when he's steaming in there, well, it looks as if he's being held a little bit there. But for all his endeavours and for all what has happened in the last couple of weeks, Ronaldo is still a class act. Even if he was ill-advised to take the Piers Morgan interview and get himself sacked from Manchester United, which seems to be the case. It's a throw-in to Korea. So, as you were saying, Russ, about the missed penalty.
Yeah, JB, I thought it was like a back pass from Williams for that penalty. It looked like you were playing for Uruguay. I just thought, I'll pass it back to you. I'll pass it back to my goalkeeper for him to clear it with that bad. Even I could have scored a penalty better than I'm a professional footballer.
Yeah, they are. The considered views of Russell Vernon there. Yeah, it was a calamitous penalty. I've got to confess, but there you go. I was just looking at the total receptions. Lee Jung-soo is leading the way with 7 for South Korea at the moment, but those statistics are not exactly relevant at the moment. One certificate that will count is on your screen, and that's Korea 0, Portugal 1, and we've played 24 minutes of the first half. Here on the TC Hub. Also, we'll read out a few of your messages as well at some point this afternoon as well. Of course, we do rely on our listeners as well to try and keep going. So we'll see if we've got any. If any messages come up, we will read them to you here on the TC Hub. But do comment. Please keep your comments clean. Please, we are a family show, and we are in the afternoon in the UK as well. So we're not beyond the watershed, I can tell you now. We're way off 9:30 in the evening. Korea on the attack now, on halfway, and just at the moment leisurely passing the ball about on halfway. As me and Russ were saying just a minute or two ago, the trick will be not to panic at this moment in time. We're way past the halfway mark of the first half. Ball played into the penalty area where Chu goes for it and finds Son Heung-min on the left-hand side. Can the Spursman work a little bit of magic and try and perform something heroic here and get South Korea back into this game? Free kick midway inside the Portuguese half to South Korea. Wang Ying was fouled. And now, Russ, this is the time where South Korea have to take their chances. Set plays are going to be key at this point. Russ isn't there, so we'll get his views on that in a second or two. Russ has left us again, so we'll continue. I'll continue commentary, and then when Russ gets his sound back again, we'll carry on. We'll get his views on the free kick and the aftermath of it. So South Korea playing the ball in, and it was a man foul that played it in. It was Yu Yang, and it's behind for a corner. And we'll get Russ's views in just a second. It came off Pepe. We'll see this corner out and get. Hopefully, Russell will get reviews from Russ in a second or two. So 5 Koreans I can count in the penalty area, right by the penalty spot. Number 9 will be the threat, Gu Sun. It's not going to be the ball played in. Oh, there's a free man. Oh, it's been turned in. Young Gon has got the equaliser, and that puts Korea right back in with a shout. And Ronaldo looks completely crestfallen. 27 minutes have been played, and Korea have got themselves a lifeline of huge proportions. And you have to say, Russ, in the last 5 minutes alone, I think they're more than merited of being back on level terms and on parity here.
Yes, absolutely, JB. Fantastic ball in from the corner. Flicked it on. It was a knee flick on as well as the near post. It came off the Portuguese man, in fact, and he broke to him nicely. He was on the floor when he fired it in, and even though he's on the floor, he can still finish, and he finished it well. And South Korea right back in this, JB, as you already pointed out. 1-1 is the scoreline here now.
Yes, 1-1 it is here on the TCB, and but Korea obviously need to score another one because they have to win this game, but they've not panicked at all since going behind, and they've got themselves the leveller, and they've richly deserved that. And now it's all down to what they can do now. They've got plenty of time now to get another one. Remember, Ghana drawing, but they've missed a penalty. Will that come back to haunt them? There's been developments elsewhere. Let's join Paul James.
Thank you, JB. Ghana 0, Uruguay 1. The goal came as Suarez cut into the penalty area, struck a shot which Ziggy well saved, but the ball broke loose, and on the back post was Ariasea with the header from 1 yard out, which gives Uruguay the 1-goal lead. Pretty poor defending from Ghana on a whole, but Uruguay lead by 1-0, JB.
Well, this now muddies the waters a little bit because Uruguay now are in second place, and Korea, who need to win, are bottom of the group. Ghana down to third. Interesting developments now, Russ, as Portugal win a free kick.
Yes, absolutely, JB. Interesting developments now. And I'd be interested to see how this game unfolds now. Ghana know that they need to get back into this game. Korea know that they're going to be finishing bottom as soon as that goal news filters through JB, should I say. And yes, I think it's going to be a big one, big 45 minutes in the second half to come, and be more in the first half as well.
Yes, another 15 minutes plus any amount of stoppage time, which in people. Oh, wait a minute, Ronaldo through, and he's been hit wide, but I'm sure that he was offside as that ball was pulled through, which is a great save from King Sung-ju. But I'm certain Ronaldo was offside here. Let's have a look at the replay. Ball was not forward. Well, Ronaldo was well offside there, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's clearly offside, JB, as that ball got played through. And I think, to be honest with you, if you look at it again, I think both of them were running through offside. So even if it squared it to Ronaldo and either scored, I think both would have been given offside there. But that's a big opportunity for Portugal to retain the lead, but for the offside flag going up, which has saved Korea's blushes. Were a good save anyway.
Yeah, not that it counted in the grand scheme of things as Korea come forward again. And the ball now not back. And Korea in possession. Ball chipped forward towards the far side, and it's out for a throw. So South Korea's task is quite simple now. They have to score. And they will go in second due to the fact that they'll have a better goal difference. And that simplifies things now, Russ, because all three teams now that are aiming to go through in second place all have a -1 goal difference.
Yes, it does, JB. They all need to know what they need to do. They all need to win, and they all need to score goals to get the win. So it'll be interesting to see how that things goes. And I believe we've got another goal in the other game, JB.
Yes, let's cross now to Paul James.
Thanks, JB. Yes, this was a really spectacular goal, and it's come for Uruguay. It's the second goal for Di Aracea. It was beautifully flicked on. The one-touch flick on by Suarez was then volleyed just outside the penalty area past Viggy into the bottom left-hand corner. It was actually probably a contender for possibly goal of the tournament. Beautiful flick on by Suarez, volleyed home by De Aracea, and Uruguay 2-0 up. That goal difference is gonna well have an effect, JB. 2-0 to Uruguay.
2-0 to Uruguay. As the ball comes in, it's well parried by the goalkeeper, or well taken by the goalkeeper. So what does that do now for the group? Uruguay now have a 0 goal difference. So we're just looking at the goal now. This is how it happened. It's Suarez playing the ball in, and that is a terrific finish. I have to say, Russ, it's a great finish now. And are Uruguay getting out of jail, we wonder?
I wonder, JB, that's a fantastic goal from Uruguay. And I think Uruguay could end up going through now with that, unless there's more goals in this game, or Ghana can come back from being 2-0 down. Ghana have shown resilience to come back before, and so to have Korea, but we'll just break off as the Portugal were on the table. He's going to have to play anyway, JB, on this near side. But It's been a fantastic game, this one, and it looks as though Paul's having a fantastic game as well.
Well, we've had a couple of goals in this one. We've had a couple of goals in the other one, but it's Uruguay leading now. They've got a 0 goal difference. And Korea and Ghana both, Ghana have a -2 goal difference now. I'm just trying to work out the mathematics here. And Ghana and Korea have a -1 goal difference. Lost me chain of thought there for a second. It's all these games when it's all happening every 5 seconds. But there's a long way to go, as the classic cliche is, and there's so many twists and turns are ahead. Stay tuned, everybody. There's so many twists and turns are ahead. Ball not back now to goalkeeper Diego Costa, who hits long way up the field, and that looks offside there, but the shot comes in. That's a good save by Sung Ju, trying to dive away. It was Dalot's shot, and a corner's been given. And Portugal, as we've seen so many times tonight, although Ronaldo was offside, Dalot wasn't, Russ. But Portugal on the counter-attack, even from a long ball, looking absolutely a real threat.
The RJB, they're looking a real threat all the time. Portugal, every time they come forward, they look like they're going to score. And I think Korea just need to hold in there till half-time and try and get half-time at 1-1.
Yes, another shot coming in there, but it's an easy one for Sung Ju. It was a routine effort this time. Batinia hitting it right-footed. Hit it on the volley, but it wasn't the most powerful volley. It was quite tame as he hit it on the volley. And it still remains 1-1 then. But remember we've got some more games coming up tomorrow. The US against the Netherlands. That's the start of the last 16. And then, of course, Argentina, Australia. Hopefully we'll be amongst those as well on the TC Hub and all platforms tomorrow. And don't forget, Brazil, Cameroon, real treat for you with Nicholas Jones tonight at around about 5 to 7 as Brazil, the brilliant Brazilians, already qualified, take on Cameroon. And we'll have updates, and Nicholas will bring you updates on the other games as South Korea now come charging forward. And they've got men on the far side. It's Kim Ji-soo. Can he get the ball into the penalty area? When the goalkeeper wasn't convincing there, Diego Costa, and he did quite well in the end. And Portugal just having a little bit of a struggle, but they have won a free kick. And that will frustrate South Korea. Yellow card has been brandished as well. I think it's, I'm just trying to think who it is. It's Canin, I think, who's been cautioned here. Number 18, it is Lee Canin. And it was the right decision, Russ.
Yes, correct decision there, JB. It was late in the challenge. The ball had already gone. And correct decision from the referee there, JB.
Yes, and we've got less than 10 minutes to play in the first half. But you never know with FIFA. They could probably put it at about 15 minutes of stoppage time. I'm not at it. It's been a dirty game, and there's not been a lot of time wasting going on because it's been a free-flowing sort of game. And if we do finish before Paul's game, we will cross the Paul for commentary at the end of the first half. If it does end as Ronaldo comes charging in from the right-hand side and blasts a shot which was well blocked. And that might have been troubling towards goal, but brave defending there by the Korean defence. Pepe now has it on halfway, uses Antonio Silva. Silva in turn finds number 20 here, João Cancelo. Now Pepe again. Pepe now charges forward, comes over halfway. Still 1-1 here if you've just joined us on the TC Hub. Quarter for Portugal and I'll be getting the other goal scorer. I think it's Cho who got the equaliser. We'll double check that later, but it's 1-1 anyway. And in the other game, Uruguay, as things stand, going through. Where's Ronaldo into the penalty area, looking to get Horta in again, the goal scorer. Again, good defending, but Horta's won it back illegally, says referee Tello from Argentina. Free kick to Korea. Well, it's going to be an interesting last sort of 8 minutes now, Russ. Still twists and turns, you feel, still to be got in both games.
Yes, absolutely, JB. I can see there's going to be another goal in this one. I can feel it coming. I'm not sure which way yet, JB, but
well, it could go either way.
And the other one as well for Paul.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see what happens. We'll be crossing to Paul in a few moments for another update. Because you can't take your eyes off this one for a second or two, because anything could happen. This is the beauty of games being played simultaneously when you're needing to get points to get out of a group. It sort of mirrors the last day of a Premier League season in a way, when teams are looking to stay up or win the championship or whatever. When you're looking for other results and you're tuning into the old transistor radio. I think Russ and myself are just about old enough to remember transistor radios. Yeah, you remember them, don't you, Russ? Those old fangled things with an aerial on.
I do, JB. Yes, I do remember those. And and to be honest, JB, I've actually on the DAB one, which is plugged in as well, which I've now got on in a moment, which is sitting on my windowsill. So I've actually got one of those at home.
No, I don't have a DAB. I just listen to my radio on my computer. BBC. I won't give the game away, but let's just say it's a well-known organisation that's just televising this game live this afternoon. I'm not going to say the organisation. It's against TCO rules, so I'm not going to mention the name, but it does begin with a B. Anyway, back to this game. It's 1 apiece between Korea and Portugal. Very good game. In the other match, between Korea and Portugal. Very good game. And in the other match here, Son shoots, and it's down the goalkeeper's throat. A nice little glimmer of hope there for Korea as Son Heung-min tried the shot there. Paul, Russ rather. Easy save for the goalkeeper, but Son Heung-min does look a threat, certainly in the final third.
He does, JB. Yes, fantastic bit of effort there from Son and Korea going close once again.
And now here come Portugal on the attack. 5 minutes to half time, plus any additional time, which could be anything in this World Cup. The ridiculous amount of stoppage time that we've seen so far in this tournament has been beyond belief as a speculative effort comes in. And it's well over the top from Mateus Nunes for a goal kick. But whilst the ball's out of play and in amongst the smiling Koreans for the time being at least, let's just cross over to the other game and join Paul James.
Thanks, JB. Yes, well, veteran Kerr has gone off as a substitute just after the second goal. It doesn't look like it's tactical. I wonder whether he's just taken a knock. Since then, of course, there was a shot blocked by Suarez quite brilliantly on his penalty area from the shot by Kudos. Besides that, Uruguay seems to have taken a step back and have slowed the game down a little bit. But that's really what's been going on since the goal. I did neglect to mention that Nunes picked up a yellow card leading up to the final decision for the penalty. He must have said something that he shouldn't. He's been a pain in this first half for Ghana, to be sure. So 2-0 to Uruguay. There's 2 minutes left in the half, JB.
And yes, and Ronaldo was just missed from 3 yards. After a shot that was just missed from 3 yards. He's just missed after 3 yards out. Here's what happened. The ball came in. It was knocked half away. Shot came in from outside the penalty area. Goalkeeper didn't cover himself in glory. It's got to be said. Coutinho shot with a right foot. And then the goalkeeper, for some reason, just palmed it into Ronaldo's path, which is normally 9 times out of 10 was fatal in those situations. And maybe the ball just came a little bit too quick for Ronaldo to give him his fair dues. And the flag went up as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, JB. He was unlucky. It was spared by the flag being raised, but he was unlucky with the effort there as well. And he seemed to be causing a few problems for Korea in this first half.
Yeah, so 2-0 to Uruguay. 1-1 here in our live match. And if we finish before Paul's game due, we'll cross to Paul and he will describe the rest of the first half for you on the TCR if that is the case. It all depends on how much stoppage time there is in both the matches, which will determine what we can do. As Portugal come again now with Pepe, all over the halfway line now. As things stand, Portugal and Uruguay are going through. The two big names in the group. Two more illustrious names as Ronaldo comes galloping forward again on the edge of the Korean penalty area on the right-hand side, but it's dispossessed by the South Korean defence, who I have to say have kept Ronaldo quite well in his pocket. A lot of teams can't say that, but still a long way to go in this one. Coutinho on the edge of the area. Coutinho still. Good football again from Portugal. It's inside the penalty area. And the shot from Ricardo Horta. And it's well saved by Lee Sung-gyu. And again, Portugal now, Russ, with about just over a minute of normal time to go in this first half. Starting to turn up the power as we go into the dying embers of this first half. Still 1-1.
Yes, absolutely, JB. Fantastic effort on the turn from Horta there. And you mentioned about Cristiano Ronaldo being kept in the pockets of the South Korean defence. And we've made it as well, JB, and not many teams are able to do that. Well, I can actually say during his 2 spells at Manchester United and in the Premier League, Cristiano and Leeds United. So Leeds United have managed to keep him quiet as well.
I knew you'd get Leeds in at some point. I just knew it. Oh, dear me. Anyway, yeah, he makes a good point there, does Russ? Always, once a Leeds fan, always a Leeds fan. So there you go. So anyway, we've got about 10 seconds of normal time to go. We'll get an indication from the 4th official how long that's going to be, and hopefully we'll get word through. We've only got the 2 minutes in the first half left, so let's get a quick update from Paul, which should be ticking up towards 45 in that game. How much stoppage time have you got there, Paul?
I suspected at least 5 because of the VAR check. But we've got an additional 3 minutes on top of that as well. Darwin Núñez has had a shot blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Suarez went up to the referee waving his arms, claiming it was a corner. It might well have been so, but Suarez has to be careful. We've played 2 minutes of injury time, another 6 to go. Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
Yes, and we'll be joining Paul James at the conclusion of this first half for the remainder of the stoppage time in that game. So he's got a considerable amount more to go than what we have here. We're just coming up towards the final minute of our 2 minutes. So you just see an opportunity, half chance there for Lee. But Lee, and it was Lee Yang-in, rather, that came in there. And he didn't take advantage of it. So as we come towards the final flourishes of the first half here, Russ, What you? Well, let's just wait, watch a moment because Ronaldo's going clean through. Chance there, and the ball deflects for a corner. I'll get your views after this corner because Horta had a shot which deflected. So we'll just stick with this Portuguese corner, and then we'll get Russ's thoughts on the first half after this set play. So a corner then to Portugal. We've got about 30 seconds of the 2 minutes to play. Don't forget, once the whistle goes here, we're crossing live to Paul James for the conclusion of the other game of the first half. As the ball played in there towards Ronaldo, comes out towards the left-hand side. Vitinha keeps it alive, chips it in. Ronaldo is going forward, and the ball's been kept in brilliantly there by Nunes. Ball gets a deflection, or the cross gets a deflection. Pepe keeps it alive. And now Son Heung-min will hook it away. And your final impressions of what's been a terrific first half.
Yes, Portugal have had a lot of possession. Korea having some chances as well. Both teams having the chances. And Paul will probably be the unhappier of the two sides of the braid, JB, because I think Korea have gone into the game and ended the game stronger, with 1-1 in the second half.
Yes, let's hope so. So me and Russ are going to take a 5 or 6 minute break. We're going to now go to Paul James now, who's going to bring you commentary of the latter stages of the first half. It's over to you, Paul.
Thanks, JB. Just as you join us, it's to Uruguay, and just standing over this one is Darwin Núñez. Actually, no, it's actually not Darwin Núñez. I apologise. It's Valverde. Valverde will swing the ball in, and there's a header over the top by Jimenez, and it will be a goal kick to Ghana. The ball just swung in there. Jimenez had a bit of a clear header, but he just wasn't able to get his head over that, and it goes over the crossbar. So we are almost 5 minutes into injury time here. It is Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. And the goal kick will be taken by Ziggy, right-footed downfield. He barely even makes the halfway line, to be honest. It's picked up again there by Jimenez, and he launches the ball forward. It's just picked up by Salisu. And there was some confusion there in the defence. The ball was picked up by Salisu, but it rebounded back, and Amate was waiting for Ziggy to come out and collect it. Eventually he did, but there was a lack of coherence there in the Ghana defence for sure. Now, the referee's just stopped play. It looks like Facundo Pellistri is down right now. Yes, it would look a bit of an elbow there by Amate. That was a little bit naughty. You can see him coming in here. Pellistri is charging in. He blocks him, and then he raises his elbow and catches Pellistri. I mean, it looks like he's going to get away with it. There's no VAR check, but that did look a little bit naughty. And Amate there now has just kind of walked away from things, and the free kick is now taken. It's cleared forward, and it's just nodded on that time by Vitinha. And it's clear, and it's forward looking there for Darwin Núñez. It's been such a pain in this first half for Ghana. He's dispossessed that time, and here's Partey. It's back to Amate. And Partey again now in the midfield. We are inside the last 90 seconds of injury time. Now, I suspect there'll be a little bit more played, actually. Here's Partey again. And he plays the ball forward. Chasing that one is Jordan Ayew. But the ball goes, Andre Ayew, but the ball is out of play. And it'll be a throw into Ghana, taken quickly. And it's down to Ayew. Ball is dispossessed. One back there that time by Coates. But Ghana get the ball back now. And the pass is a disappointing one by Kudos. That was given away back to Uruguay, but they have won the ball back. Here's Partey. And it's, again, a good challenge, again at the back by Jimenez. It's cleared forward. And it's cleared forward, but nobody is there apart from Amate, who picks it up. And it's played across to Salisu. Midway inside his own half. He goes for the long ball. Oh, he was looking to pick out Williams there. but Williams was not able to get his foot on the ball, and it just goes through to Roche in the Uruguay goal. Made a penalty save, of course, earlier on in this game, but it was a very disappointing penalty from Andre Ayew. It was a comfortable save down to his left-hand side. And Roche takes his time and clears the ball downfield. Just nodded on there by Abdul, and just again cleared away this time, and picked up in the midfield by Palistri. Palistri dispossessed, and that's it. The referee has blown for half time, and it's largely been a half that has been dominated by Uruguay. Chances falling for Darwin Núñez early on, which was blocked. The first shot on goal for Ghana came on 15 minutes from Williams, and Núñez was then booked in the lead up to the penalty. The penalty was awarded for the foul. Williams got the shot away. Goalkeeper made a comfortable save. Kudos came in with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper took him down, and after the VAR check, the penalty was given. Andre Ayew made a pretty poor penalty, which was comfortably saved by Roche down on his left-hand side. The first goal came on 26 minutes by Di Araceo, and the goal came off the shot from Suarez, which was a good save, but it bounced onto the back post and it was headed in from 1 yard out. The second goal was much more spectacular. A beautiful one-touch flick on by Suarez, and left a wonderful volley from just outside the penalty area to make it 2-0. Since then, there has been little. Betancourt has been taken off. Looks like he picked up a knock. Vecino came on. And finally, a shot blocked by Suarez by Kudos, laid out for most of that first half. That was pretty much it for the first half. At half-time here, it's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. And back to you, JB.
Thank you, Paul. You're going to take yourself a nice cup of tea or whatever you're consuming at halftime. That was a very good last few minutes of commentary there. So, Russ Murley is still with me. We're going to talk a little bit about what might happen. Before I do go to Russ, we've had a few comments. The £1 fish. What a nice name that is. Come on, Portugal. And he's a Portuguese fan. Shane is, we do apologise if it's been echoing during the commentary. Just a technical problem. I hope that doesn't affect your enjoyment of the commentary. So 1-1 at half-time between Korea and Portugal with Russ and myself. Paul James has just commentated on the latter stages of the first half in that Uruguay game. And that penalty missed now in that other game, Russ, could prove costly now for Ghana. As things stand now, unless they can really get themselves back in with a shout. And Korea not out of the woods yet.
Absolutely. The penalty save was, as I mentioned, when we mentioned about it when we saw the coming through on our monitors. JB, it was like that's back, and then they proceeded to sloppy goals, I must say. But with Korea, they've put up a good fight against Portugal. And it's anybody's game here in our match, JB. Could go either way. More as I watch on, I'm thinking we could have another shock and Portugal could lose.
Well, they're still through regardless of what happens anyway, because they got the 6 points they needed. I mean, 6 points is normally more than enough to get you through the group phase. But Portugal, I mean, I'm just whilst Paul was commentating, actually, the equalising goal from South Korea scored as it happened. I've just checked; it's Kim Yong-gwon who got the goal. His goal equaliser actually was an unwitting assist by Cristiano Ronaldo. Did you notice that?
I noticed one of the Portuguese players on the back as he came through to him, but I wasn't sure who got the final touch, JB.
It was Cristiano Ronaldo. I was watching a replay while we were off air, and Paul was doing his commentary, and it came off Ronaldo's back of all things, and it bounced very kindly for them. So let's break off from that, and obviously we've got to look ahead to Brazil tonight. The Harlem Globetrotters of football, as I call them, because they are a super team with super skills, and they play football the way that anyone should play it. My tip, of course, for the World Cup, as you may have seen in our preview show before the tournament started some 2 weeks ago. Brazil already there. Will they make changes for tonight? Will they rest players? Of course, there's no Neymar, of course, for us, of course, due to the injury, and as we all know, he's missing the rest of the group stages. But Brazil, will they take the foot off the gas, or will they just go for goals and put Cameroon to the sword?
I think they could go for goals, JB, and put Cameroon to the sword. You've seen what they're like without Neymar in the second group match, and they performed really well and won that one as well. I can see Brazil winning comfortably and putting Cameroon to the sword. Be interesting to see how Cameroon play tonight against the Brazilians, which I'll be looking forward to watching a little bit later on. Probably won't be as live. We'll probably be later on this evening because I'm busy when it's actually on. But I think it should be a good game to watch that one, and hopefully Nicholas will get some goals like myself and yourself, JB, and Paul has got that aren't 0-0s for Nicholas's sake.
Absolutely. We don't, he's done he's had his fair share, and he's done a lot of games in the last couple of weeks, and he's like a Duracell bunny. He's our Nicholas. He's quite the commentator, the Euros, and now this. He's our Duracell bunny in a way. Now let's look forward to Sunday, of course, the big one, England against Senegal, game that you can hear with us on the TC Hub, with Nicholas Jones hosting, me in the commentary box alongside Luke Turton. This one, I'm not sure. I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, England will be overwhelming favourites. No Marnie, of course, now because he's out the tournament for Senegal. But they do pack a punch still in without Marnie, and they are a team that should be feared. I mean, I've got a feeling. I mean, I don't know if you're old enough to remember England Cameroon 32 years ago in Italian '90, but I have to say this has sort of like
JB, how old do you
England
think?
Cameroon written on.
Yeah, JB, how old do you think I am? I'm only 30, mate. So obviously, JB, I won't remember that one. I'm only 30, my friend. I'm 30, my friend. So I won't remember that one 32 years ago. It happened 2 years before I was actually born. But you could be right, JB. It could have that impact as that game had from 32 years ago. You just never know. And I think it could be one or two shocks. Senegal have performed really, really well in this tournament from what I've seen of them, and I've seen quite a bit of them, whether I've been commentating or just watching the games. I actually covered the game against Ecuador the other day, and there was very, very much improving against Ecuador. So I think there's going to be it's going to be a tough one for England, even though they're without Sadio Mane for Senegal, but it's going to be going to be a tough one to call. England, if they play how they can and how they did in the first game against Iran and against Wales, then there's going to be no problems with the turn up who've already won this into the next round. There's going to be serious questions to be asked, and I've seen that Paul says he remembers that game, and obviously JB says he thinks England Senegal's got a feeling of the game against Cameroon from that World Cup 32 years ago. Or what do you to the Senegal game? Do you think it could have a similar impact to that one game England played 32 years ago against Cameroon, or do you reckon England should get through against Senegal from what you've seen of both countries this tournament so far?
Well, to be honest with you, I agree with JB. They are a dangerous side, but I expect England to win that game. I'll be very surprised if Senegal knock England out. But it should be a good game. I'll certainly be tuning in to listen to it.
You get to that with JB and Luke Turton on Sunday evening for that one. While it's half time in your game, then Paul, and while it's or still half time in our
Oh,
game.
I'm here.
Just want to give us
I'm
overall.
back.
Paul, do you want to give us an overall thoughts on the first half from your game between Ghana and Uruguay? Uruguay deserve their 2-goal lead.
Yeah, I think so. I think Ghana will be kicking themselves for that penalty miss because that could have changed the entire conjecture of the game. At that point, I don't think any side was in was in control at that stage. Both sides were. It was pretty scrappy, to be fair. That whole penalty incident kind of awoke the game a little bit, and Uruguay had kind of dominated from there. Darwin Núñez has been an absolute pain. I can see why Liverpool. I know he's come for some unfair criticism as Darwin Núñez, and I do think it's unfair because he's an absolute pain to deal with at the back, and Ghana have really struggled with it. The 2 goals was the second goal especially was an absolutely fantastic goal. The one-touch flick on by Suarez, it was just so eloquently done, very South American style. And the volley past the goalkeeper, Ziggy didn't stand a chance. And the first goal, he made a good save on that one, but of course, on the back post there was the Aracea to head the ball in. And I think overall, Uruguay definitely deserved the lead, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. As you finish, we're back underway in the other game, and we'll be heading over to Paul at the conclusion of the other game because obviously he was a bit behind with his half-time break. But we'll cross for Paul with regular updates during our second half here. The team's unchanged from the first half, and just to remind you that England and they said Cameroon and fraudulent slip. England Senegal will be live with me on Sunday. Nicholas presenting, me and Luke Turton commentating on hopefully a routine England win, but you never know in knockout tournaments with England. You never know what can happen. Right? So complacency doesn't set in, but it's good to see that England are sharing the goals around. Funnily enough, Harry Kane hasn't scored yet in this tournament, but he didn't really do that much in the first 3 games of the Euros, and then came to the party when Germany were in town at Wembley a year and a half ago. So you never know what might happen. So both teams, as I say, unchanged from the first half, and here's Portugal in possession. As we played nearly a minute and a half of this second half here at the Education City Stadium in Doha. Group H in the World Cup 2022. One ball looking towards Ronaldo, who was coming back from an offside position. Linesman there on that near side. The Argentinian linesman spotted it. Free kick to South Korea. So task really, South Korea really scored 2 goals without obviously got a better the goal difference of Uruguay. Obviously, they've got to win the game first, obviously, Russ, and then try and better Uruguay's score. That's the aim, isn't it? And we seem to have lost Russ again. We'll get him back and get his opinions on that in just a second or two as Portugal hooked that one clear. And the ball now back with Korea. Obviously, they need 2 goals and hopefully no Uruguay. Of course, Ghana could still get back in it themselves, but a missed penalty could cost them dear. But Korea, you think, Russ, if we've got your back, Russ, they need to really take care of business and not really rely on Ghana trying to do them a favour at this point.
Yes, absolutely, JB. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what seemed to have happened there. But yeah, they need to take care of their own business first and then worry about what's happening in the other game. Because it seems to me that they keep looking over to the bench every so often, trying to find out what's happening in the other game. And they just need to focus on their own game here, Korea. And if they focus on their own game, get the win, then they can worry about what's happening in the other game between Ghana and Uruguay. Not try and focus on that while they're supposed to be playing this game against Portugal, because otherwise they could lose here, and then that could be the match of the tournament altogether.
Yeah, and that would make things absolutely academic. But Portugal now in possession now with Ruben Neves, the anchor man in midfield. Portugal having a lot of possession in this opening 3 and a bit minutes of this second half. Remember, Paul James's game finished a lot later than ours. So as soon as we're done here in the Education Stadium, Russ and myself will be handed over to Paul James for the climax of that other game. Should anything be riding on it, but regardless of the outcome, we will cross to Paul James just to complete the picture. Still 1-1 here. Korea, as things stand, are going out. Uruguay going through. But remember, there's still 45 minutes plus a lot of injury time to be played. I'm more than certain for things to shake themselves out. But Korea started rather sluggish, and it's Portugal on the break again with Mario in midfield as the ball comes in from the far side there, and it's hooked away. And good football again now. Batinia into number 21, Horta, who got the opening goal. And now the ball out towards the far side again. Mario again, keeping nice possession. Number 20, how has it? Cancelo of Manchester City. Infield again to Mario. Mario knocking it back to Pepe. It's almost like watching Burnley in a way with this Portuguese team. Nice, crisp passing, but a little bit sideways, Russ.
Yes, JB, absolutely, mate. And I was about to say it's like watching Burnley here because Korea it's enough in Portugal just playing the long ball like Burnley would do under Sean Dyche. So I think there's going to be quite a bit of problems. And Portugal with their long ball tactics remind me of that Burnley side when you had Sean Dyche in charge, JB. So let's bring that up for you, my friend.
No, don't apologise. It's absolutely fine. I think I'm well over that phase of play now. It's good that Vincent Kompany and, of course, Burnley are back in preparation for the season starting. They start the campaign again against QPR a couple of days before the World Cup final, incidentally. But here's the ball played in by Portugal, but it's knocked away once more. And it's Portugal really that are doing all the attacking. And, of course, they don't really need to win this game if they don't want to. They're already through, but they'll want to put on a good show for their supporters. And the more they do that, the more that frustrates South Korea at this point. And, of course, when they're playing the ball sideways and just keeping position, it's tiring the Koreans out. So maybe it's a little bit of patient build up here from the Portuguese, even though the passing has been a touch sideways and not going too far. But we'll get in fact, let's I don't know whether Paul's match has kicked off yet. I'm not sure it has, so we'll hold on for a couple more minutes longer and see if there's been any half-time alterations in Paul's game in a few moments' time. It's Portugal still in possession now. Remember, his game finished around about 4 or 5 minutes after we finished. His first half finished 4 or 5 minutes after our first half finished. Let's get that straight. It's gone around about 10 past 4 in the UK. Around about 7 o'clock. As the ball played in there towards Ronaldo, just miscontrolled it at the vital moment. In fact, the flag had got up anyway, Russ, for an offside decision. But Portugal, patient build-up. We were talking about them playing the ball sideways, but I tell you what, that's touch and go, whether that was offside or not. Ronaldo, 50-50, whether that was offside. Would have been interesting if he had put the ball away in the onion bag. Still 1-1.
Yes, JB, it would have been enough. For me, it did look like he was just offside, and I think he looked like his head was offside, and you can score with you. So I think it was a correct call there to give offside against Cristiano Ronaldo.
No. Rare attack from Korea. Now, can they make something of it with Sung Yeon Min on the edge? Not this time. He had the chance, and it was a good break initially by Gung Sung, the number 9 who got down the left-hand side. And the referee has been alerted to an injury there, and it's number 10 who's gone down, Lee Jae-sung. And also Horta, the opening goal scorer for Portugal, is down injured. So with that in mind, and I'm sure Paul's game will have restarted by now, let's get news of any half-time alterations from either Ghana or Uruguay with Paul James.
Thanks, JB. Yes, there has been 2 changes by Ghana at half-time. Jordan Ayew and Andre Ayew are off. Osman Bakari and Kamaldeen Sulemana are on for Ghana. There's already been a chance in the second half that fell to Sulemana, the substitute. He struck the shot across the face of goal. Kudos was not able to reach it to turn the ball in. It's the closest Ghana have come so far. We're underway in the second half. 48 minutes gone. It's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
They'll change the score, but sounds like a bad night for the Ayew brothers. Both Andre and Jordan both off at half time, unfortunately. That's just the way it goes. And of course, it's history repeated, actually. If you go back to 2010, when Asamoah Gyan had the chance to send Ghana through, he missed the penalty, and Uruguay went on to win on penalties. So a little bit of deja vu, I'm afraid, from 2010. Maybe they have the Indian side on Ghana. Who knows? But it's 1-1 here in the other game, being played in the Education City Stadium. Wonderful stadiums as well. There's one of the stadiums that is made truly out of container ships, I believe, which is quite a novelty in this World Cup. I mean, all its controversies and how it got the awarding. I mean, it's not been by its own standards, it's not been a bad World Cup in terms of the football that we've seen on the field, as Portugal now one of the more entertaining and more enterprising teams statistically come forward. I'll remind you of one or two statistics if we do get a break in play, as Portugal comes striding forward with number 18 on the ball, Ruben Neves with the ponytail. Plays the ball into Dallo, who set up the opening goal for Horta, his second international goal and only his 7th cap. And now Portugal have it on the far side this time. They stand up across, and it's towards the back post again. And it was Mateus Nunes coming in on the far right-hand post that got there, and Dallo nearly got there. Dallo tries to play the ball in again from the right, but he's muscled out of it. And here comes South Korea on the counter-attack. Now then, can they produce something now with Imboom? The ball comes towards Son Heung-min. He's 1 against 1. Son Heung-min shoots right-footed. Korean corner. A little bit better from South Korea as they went on the counter-attack, as Son tries to get the Korean supporters going, Ross.
Yes, it does, JB. And that was a fantastic bit of play down from South Korea over on our far side. They worked it well, worked it into Son Heung-min, just inside the penalty. I think could have had an extra touch there. Son brought it back. But Antonio Silva did well to come across and play behind for a corner. And good to see the South Korean fans responding to the captain's message.
11 minutes gone in the second half. Korean corner. It's going to be Son Heung-min to smash it in with the right foot. It's a poor corner shot back in, which goes well wide of target there. And that was number 10, Lee Ji-sung, that knocks it out for a goal kick. So 2-0 in the other game to Uruguay. 1-1 here. It can swing, turn, twist, anything. There's still a long way to go. There's about 35 minutes all told of both of this game to go, and there'll be a little bit more. I think there'll be about 40 minutes of the other game to go, I'd estimate. So hold on to your hats, folks. It could be a bumpy old ride second half. So anything can still happen. There's a Korean down on the floor here after a little challenge with number 23 here, Mateus Nunes. It's Lee Kang-in who goes down. Takes a bit of tumble there. So just to remind you, if you have joined us late, we'll remind you in just a second, because Korea have a free kick. 57 gone on the TC Hub, JB Sports, TC Hub 2, and Storm FM. Free kick comes in. We're also on Twitch. As the ball comes in, it's going to go for a goal kick to Portugal. It was a bit of a waste of a free kick, really, as Cho played the ball in. And, it was just a question of not gambling, really. But the Portuguese did enough defensively to let the ball go for a goal kick. So we're also on Twitch as well. So good evening, good afternoon, good evening to our Twitch listeners around the world. You are listening to Around the World commentary of Korea against Portugal. Nice to have you with us this Friday tea time. Also, we'll have updates with Paul James. We'll be checking on him in a few moments' time as he brings us right up to date with events in the Ghana against Uruguay game, which at the moment remains 2-0 to Uruguay. 58 gone. And at the moment, Russ, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Russ. Are we going to get twists and turns this next half an hour or so? Are we going to get twists or turns, or are we not?
I'm not sure. The table will probably stay as it is right now, but you never know. My predictions are normally wrong, so you never know, JB. You never know, my friend.
Yeah, well, at least my predictions are going through. France and Brazil, the first two teams through. My tip for the World Cup final, of course, as Son Heung-min does some Really good defensive work. I do hope your predictions are wrong, by the way, Ross. It would be a hell of an exciting finish. Whether it'll match the excitement of last night's drama with Japan and Spain and Germany and all that, that remains to be seen. Dalot in possession. The ball knocked back to Pepe, the big central defender. 131 caps now behind him, and very experienced campaigner. Of course, a lot of this squad, of course, won the Euros in 2016. The ball played into the penalty area, and that's going to go out for a goal kick. So we've had an hour here, and it's still 1-1. Let's check in with the latest news from the Uruguay-Ghana game. It was 2-0 to Uruguay last we checked. Has there been any significant action, Paul James?
Hi, JB. No, not really. There is a free kick for Uruguay now, about 30 yards out. And standing over this is Valverde and also the number 10 who scored both goals, Diarra. But at the moment, there hasn't really been much created by either side in this second half. There's been no real push towards goal. Ghana are huffing and puffing, but are not able to really create anything in this first half. Uruguay shut them down pretty well. So 55 minutes gone here, JB. It is still 2-0 to Uruguay.
Yes, thank you, Paul. And whilst Paul was talking, Sun Heung-min had gone on a 50-yard run, went down, and didn't get a free kick. Was it a free kick, or did Sun make a bit of a meal of it there, Russ?
I think he did, JB. I think he made a bit of a meal of it, my friend, and I think he's going to be causing quite a bit of problems as Portugal try and come forward on the right-hand side. Cross came in and blocked by the left back, number 3, Kim, and Portugal are coming forward, trying to come forward again with Pepe. So I'll just break off here as he finds Nunes.
Yes, Nunes in possession, finds Mario. Here's Vitinha now, number 16, little magician in midfield. Finds number 2 there, Dalot, ex of Manchester United, of course. The possession has swung quite favourably in Portugal's favour. I'll give you some statistics in a moment or two because we've got the match stats up on our monitors. I'll just break off for a second because here come Portugal on the break here, but the ball comes away, and it's Ronaldo on the edge of the box. Here's Vitinha, chips it in there towards Ronaldo. Can't be found, headed out. And Sun Heung-min, they don't want him down defending at this at that end of the ground, at the right hand end of the ground. They need him further forward, you'd feel. Here's Portugal again. The little magician's keeping the ball really well, and it was a good break there by Horta, but it was well snuffed out by Young Won, who did a really good covering job. 62 gone here in our match. Commentary game. Korea and Portugal drawing 1-1. With the other game with Paul James is 5 minutes behind because of the injury and stoppage time we had. Here come Portugal again inside the area. Son still defending inside his own box, and Korea get the decision. Whilst we've got a break in play, let me just go through the stats for us. 40% Korea to 60%. These are latest statistics. Korea have had 7 shots to Portugal's 10. Korea have only had 3 on target to Portugal's 6. There have been 10 fouls, 5 apiece. No red cards, 1 yellow card, of course, to South Korea. 3 corners to 2 in Korea's favour, and Portugal have had 4 offsides. It's fair to say that Portugal have had the lion's share of the statistics in a lot of respects, but still Korea hanging on in there. And we've lost Russ again, so we'll try and get his views on those statistics in a second. There are substitutions being prepped from both sides, it seems to me. Maybe Fernando Santos needs to bring on a few more of the bigger guns to try and see a Portuguese victory out. Well, as I said, I mean, if we've got Russ with us, we'll just break off for a second because here's Mario on the ball here for Portugal. Ronaldo, good turn. Now then, the ball needs to be a good one towards the back post. It's hit the back of the back there of Mateus Nunes, as it turned out. Here he is now on the ball, number 20. Well, it's actually Horton now on the ball, sorry. Now the ball play forward and the ball out of play. As I was saying earlier about the statistics, Portugal obviously leading on every statistic apart from the one that really counts at the moment, Russ. That is the scoreline. But Korea, if they can hold on in there and get their noses in front, anything could still happen.
Absolutely, JB. Yes, and they're causing a few problems. Korea seem to be defending a couple at the moment. Portugal trying to get the substitutions being made here, and I think it could be a tough, long night for Korea if they don't get the noses in front in the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Neves, and Nunes are both. All three of them are off. It's a triple change. So Ronaldo, Neves, and Nunes all off, and on in their place are Andre Silva, Rafael Leao, and João Palhinha. So no Bruno Fernandes just yet, but well, maybe they're just saving Ronaldo and Co there for the knockout rounds. There's Ronaldo, and he's giving the captain's armband away, of course. I've been a little bit disappointed. I actually think he's been quite very pedestrian. As number 10 Lee Ji-sung comes on, and Wang, your mate from Wolves, Russ, is now on. Will he make the difference in the next 25 minutes or so? He is a quality player, as we all know.
Yes, he's a quality player, JB, and hopefully he does make the difference. 'Cause I think that's what Korea's been crying out for. Another player who knows how to play against the majority of this Portuguese defence. And I think that's really why they needed Wang Yi-chan to start. Could have caused them a few more problems than what they have already.
So his mate's on, and Bruce's mate's on, and Son Heung-min's just had a speculative tame shot, which was well fielded by Diego Costa. So we've got 66 minutes played. We'll carry on for a couple of minutes and then check on with Paul. Remember, Paul James's match is 5 minutes behind our match, due to the fact that they had something like 8 minutes of stoppage time compared to our 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. So if we're finished well before Paul's game, you will hear the climax of that game with Paul James at the end, but we will be checking in regular now as we approach the 67th minute. We're coming up towards the halfway point of the second half in this game, and it's South Korea in possession. They're looking for a break here. Left-footed shot, good save from the goalkeeper, and it was turned away. And it was Bram, I think, who had the effort, and that is the best that Korea fashioned, Russ, in the whole game. As we'll just break off for a second because Portugal rather have possession, and the game now starting to become stretched. Now with Ronaldo off, maybe Korea can take the brakes off and go forward. Number 9 has it, Andre Silva. Silva now running down the left-hand side, uses number 17, which is João Mario, who's now switched over to the right. 67 minutes gone on the TC Hub and all the TC Hub platforms, JB Sports, Storm FM, TC Hub 2, and Twitch. A free kick now to Portugal, but Russ, a moment or two ago, Korea had a great opportunity. The goalkeeper, Costa, made the save, but he didn't make it very convincingly, did he? It was a good effort, left-footed.
Yes, fantastic effort from South Korea going close, but it was never troubling the goalkeeper in the end. And I've just seen the FIFA president on the screen, and I've just apparently been told in my earpiece as well, JB, that some of the crowd started booing when they've seen him on the big screen, the FIFA president, which is goes to Napa where the tournament's been held this winter. But that's for another day and another podcast. But I think it was a tame effort and really should have been doing better there, South Korea.
Yeah, and while we were seeing that, free kick came to nothing from Portugal. It was Pepe. He wandered into an offside position. I'm not Giovanni Infantino's biggest fan. I wasn't his predecessor's biggest fan either, Sepp Blatter, the man who awarded the tournament to Qatar a decade ago. But it is what it is. I'm still not happy with the way they treat the England and Welsh players and the non-wearing of the rainbow armbands to promote equality. Whatever person you are in the world, the LBGQ or whatever they call themselves, the community there. I think they've been badly represented, of course. But as Russ Vernon quite rightly says, that's for another day. We've had 68 minutes gone here. It's still 1-1. There's a free kick been awarded, I think, to Korea. Whilst there's a breaking play, there's an injury as well to one of the Korean players, which is number 20. There. Young one. Let's cross over to the Uruguay game as we see there is Giovanni Infantino, not a popular man, and he's got a suit on with plimsolls. Now that is a bad look, I'm sorry to say. Right, anyway, enough about that. Let's cross over to the other game, Uruguay-Ghana. Paul James.
Well, we've had a little drama in the second half. There was a penalty claim by Darwin Núñez. It looked at first sight like Amate had tripped Núñez, but he actually won the ball. Now, the VAR official, which is Bastian Dankert, asked the referee to check it. The referee went over, and you could see the referee was talking to the VAR, but his lips were moving. And I'm not a lip reader, JB, but it seemed very clear that the referee was convinced his decision was correct and stuck with it. So no penalty. Facundo Pellistri has just struck wide from inside the penalty area. But aside from that, a 50-50 collision with the goalkeeper Roche with Salamena. Salamena for Uruguay clashed with the goalkeeper. It looked for a moment like the goalkeeper might have to come off, but he was back on his feet. And it's still 2-0 to Uruguay, although they're just making a quick change. Suarez is going off. Suarez and Pellistri are going off. And we're just taking a look at who's coming on. De La Cruz is coming on, and also Edison Cavani is coming on. 2-0 still, Russ. 2-0 still, JB. 65 minutes gone back.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've been away. We've had an handball shout from Korea, which has not been given, quite rightly hit, because Chancelo's, it looked to me from the replays as it hit Chancelo's side. It is a corner. It was a Korean shot that was charged down. I think it would have been rather harsh to have given the decision. They want VAR, the Korean crowd. I'll get Russ's opinion on that in just a second. But South Korea do have a corner. Sun Heung-min is going to cue it up. Could be any one of the two. It's going to be left to Sun Heung-min. Right-footed into the area it goes. It's a poor delivery, and it's an easy header out for Joe Paulinho. And now here come Portugal on the counter-attack. It's 3 against 3 for the moment. Here's number 15 on the ball. Rafael Leao. Leao shoots, and it's well wide of the far left-hand post. Russ Vernon, your comments on what could have been a possible Korean penalty which wasn't given by the referee.
Never a penalty, JB. Never a penalty. And if that had been given, then we might as well stop watching football, because he definitely hit him in the chest. Andrew inside, hit him underneath his arm, on his chest, and it was never going to be a penalty. I don't know why they were complaining.
Yeah, 100% agree, Russ. I mean, we just packed up and got. I think, if that had been given, I think I'd have packed up the commentary and gone home, because quite frankly, that hit him on the hip, not the arm. Although Sun Heung-min was certainly convinced. They do have a free kick here, and it's starting to get a bit feisty out there now. Penalised Yo Paulinho. He's gone down. Lee has gone down. He has gone down as if he's been shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. I have to say, that looked a very good tackle. I thought he got the ball there, the Portuguese defender. What do you think, Russ? He got the ball, surely?
I think, JB, as I'm just looking at this replay again, he gets a slight touch on the ball and then catches him. But from the angle and from behind where the referee was looking at it, from which the angle we saw first, it did look like he got the Korean first. But on the other angle, which we've seen, that I've just seen on my monitor, he definitely got the ball first. So I think from the referee's angle, he got the right decision. But when you see from the different angle I showed you from, it was the wrong one. So it could go, it was a 50-50 one for me. And I think, judging from one angle the referee was behind, correct one, the other angle we saw, wrong one. So the referee on there's one view, and from his view, it did look like a foul and a free kick.
Well, that's a fair enough point, Ross. I think when you look at it from two different... Well, I mean, we've got the hindsight of 23 different camera angles. We're watching the game on monitors, but referee's got one shot. Anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Korea, which doesn't come to much. It goes well wide of target from Lee, and it goes behind for a goal kick. It was Lee Jung-sun with the shot that went wide, looking to add to his 10 goals from 64 appearances. He's winning his 64th cap tonight for South Korea. So a goal kick then to Portugal, who survived that particular onslaught from the South Koreans. 1-1 it is still here in the Education Stadium in Doha, where all the grounds within a sort of a 40, 50 mile radius from each other. 8 grounds being used in this tournament. I can't remember being so little in a World Cup as we look at one or two of the dignitaries in the crowd, as we saw Giovanni Infantino. What do you reckon about his look then, the FIFA president? Suit and tie and a pair of scruffy white plimsolls. Not a good look, is it, for a president, is it?
No, it's not, JB. I just broke off there for a minute because I think there's a free kick being given to Portugal for a foul there. So didn't look very good there from Gianni Infantino. But good to see Diego Jota sat in the crowd watching his Portuguese side this afternoon, JB.
Yes, it was Diego Jota. I didn't spot it at first, but good job I've got a co-commentator that can help me in those situations as Portugal go on the break again. And the ball breaks now to Mario. Mario has it down the right-hand side, uses Dallo, infield to Batinha. I think he's had a good game. Of course, Russ has got a quarter of an hour to vote for his player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, of course. I'm glad I don't have that dubious honour. So Russ will get his thinking cap on for the next sort of 10, 15 minutes or so, and then we'll choose a player of the match. So we've got a quarter of an hour left to go. We've got something in the region of just around 20 minutes to go in the other game. Let's check in now on the other game between Uruguay and, of course, Ghana with Paul.
Thanks, JB. Well, we've just before you joined us, we had a superb strike from Valverde from 30 yards out, which was excellently saved by Ziggy. Before Suarez went off, he was booked for arguing with the referee. You must have said something that the referee took exception to. Ghana came close. Corner from Ghana was swung in. There was some confusion in the Uruguayan defence, which almost let in Partey, but he just wasn't able to get a decent shot on goal, and Roche made a comfortable save. So we have 19 minutes left here, JB, and it's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
And meanwhile, there was a chance there for Portugal inside the 6-yard area, but it was knocked away by the South Koreans. And they've got a free kick just 10 yards shy of the centre circle. Foul there by Dallo, but a good purpose was run, of course, from the aforementioned Dallo. Took on his man, played the ball in, and just couldn't find Mario inside the penalty area, Russ. It was a genuine good opportunity for Portugal there.
Yes, good opportunity on the right-hand side. Diego again, causing a few problems like he did for the opening goal on this occasion. But good play again from the Manchester United fullback. And JB, I have got my thinking cap on now as well.
I thought you might. Right, still 1-1 here. Still 2-0 in the other game, but there's been plenty more. There's been quite a lot of drama, as Paul James has explained to you at home. As number 9 has it now. Silva inside the penalty area he goes. Silva, good skills, but he just took it too far forward, and it allowed Kim Sung-ju to come out and narrow the angle quite easily. 13 minutes to go, plus any additional time, and knowing the inconsistencies of officialdom here with the officials, they could have liable to add anything from 1 minute to about 20 minutes. It's been that sort of a World Cup, really, as we've got an injury down there, and it's one of the Koreans that are down at the moment. It's number 19 that's down, Kim Young-gon. So he's going to be attended to. He doesn't. I'm not sure there. It looks like something. He's holding his chest there. I'm hoping it's not anything that's really serious at the moment. He's been up to his feet here. It's always a worry, really. We've had so many. I'm not suggesting it's what I think it might be, but there was a bit of a slight concern when he's holding his chest there. It could have been anything, but well, maybe Paulo Bento. He knows his side need to score a couple here. There's a lot of concern looks on the Korean faces. They're going to obviously appeal everything. The Portuguese supporters, obviously in jubilant mood despite the scoreline. They know that even a draw will well, they're more than enough. They can afford to draw this game. They could even afford to lose it if they wanted to. But then it would seem as if, as Kim Jong-un is okay, I'm pleased to say he's on his feet, he's okay. Triple change being made there, but they wouldn't want to be accused, Portugal, of letting Korea score 2 goals. Obviously, they've got to score them by their own ways and means and their own accord, of course. We're going to see a triple change, or definitely 2, maybe 3. It's number 16, Wang Unju, is going to come on. And number 19's gone off. I think Kim has gone. Well, he's certainly gone round there. We'll get the confirmation of those in a second or two. As we've got a little bit of a Mexican wave over on the far side now, as the ball now played, and it's number 6 in possession there at Paulinia, but he's lost possession. It's another throw. 10 minutes to play, or 10.5 minutes to play here in this World Cup game. FA Cup television picks have been selected. Manchester United and Everton are the first game on Friday, and then it's Sheffield Wednesday, Newcastle, Liverpool as well in action as well. Leeds are going to be on the TV on Sunday as well. The big one, 4:30 on Sunday, Manchester City, Chelsea, and then Oxford, Arsenal is the final game on the Monday. And a lot of those games will be on the TCO in the new year for your listening pleasure as well, as Portugal comes storming forward on the left-hand side. It's hooked away. Portugal looking to try another shot which deflects, and it comes away once more. And here comes the number 11 on the ball. It's Wang Yichang of Wolves. And now we're going to see 2 substitutions. Number 13, Son John Ho. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, Son John Ho is going to come on. Kim Yang and so Kim Young is gone, and also Lee King-yang. So Wang is also on, and number 16 is also on, and Son John Ho is on, and Wang Umjo is also on as well. As Bernardo Silva, Manchester City, comes on, and it's number 16, Vitinha, who's gone off, or he's one of the substitutions. I'm trying to keep up with all this malarkey. William is also on as well. We'll get also hopefully get confirmation of those 2 if FIFA can be just bothered to get the caption on the screen. I don't know who the first substitute, don't know who Bernardo Silva replaced, but we'll get confirmation in just a second. The ball is with South Korea. We're going to stick with that now. And free kick has been given now. Then we'll get the Vitinha was the one. Yao Mario was the other one that went through, and there we are. Bernardo Silva and Carvalho on. So as it stands, Portugal going through with 7 points. They'd already qualified. Uruguay through with 4. Ghana out with 2. Korea still needing to get even within a remote chance. And if they score again, it all comes down to head-to-heads and all sorts of disciplinary things. And who has most? It's a complicated system. But South Korea with a goal could put themselves well and truly in the picture to qualify for the knockout rounds. And there's still 8 minutes to go. Ball knocked forward again. It's going to be an interesting nail-biting 8 minutes for every Korean, Uruguayan. Not so much Ghanaian in the crowd now, isn't it, Ross?
It is, JB, yes, because if Korea can get back into this game and get a winner, then they could have a chance of getting through. Ghana will end up finishing bottom, and Portugal will finish up, and it could be between Korea and Uruguay to go. Very interesting to see come what these positions were like at the start of play, JB.
Well, it's one of those times where you've got to get the pocket calculators out. Right, let's check in with what's going on in the other game between Uruguay and Ghana. Here's a quick update with Paul.
Thanks, JB. So we've had one chance for Ghana, which was just after I left you in the last update. Williams blazed over the crossbar from about 17 yards out. They have made a couple of substitutions. The said Williams has gone off, along with Salis Abdul Samid, Antoine Semyeno, and also coming on was Daniel Kofi Kayea has come on for Ghana as well. Uruguay really have taken a step back They've definitely been the better. They've definitely been second best to Ghana in the last sort of 15 minutes or so, and they have the ball in the penalty area now. They swung the ball across and just cleared away that time by Coates. So still Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. 12 minutes to go here, JB.
Yes, thank you. And there's about 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go here as well in the Education Stadium and the TC Hub on all platforms. We will join Paul at the conclusion of this game between Korea and Portugal, and here we'll take you through the conclusion of that game. I mean, anything could still happen in 6 minutes plus injury time. Korea will go forward. One goal could change the whole lot. I mean, another goal elsewhere could change it all, couldn't it? For Ghana, if Korea was to get there. So if Korea were to score and Ghana were to score then everything would certainly change in Korea's favour. So there's still time for everything to happen. As Paul says, Ghana have been the better team. And, you wouldn't put it past Uruguay to crumble at any stage. But here comes Son Heung-min. But they've got to take care of business, as Russ quite rightly said at the start of the second half. Son Heung-min's been dispossessed, run on the edge of the Portuguese box. But they're coming forward again. They'll get a corner here now. And we've got 5 minutes to go, plus any additional time, which I'm sure there will be anything from ranging from 4 minutes to 12 minutes, the way this World Cup has gone in terms of last second stoppage time. Son Heung-min with the corner. There are 5 normal time minutes to play. This needs to be a better corner. His last 2 haven't been the best. Had a 1, but it wasn't in it with any great direction, and Portugal were able to get it clear. And we'll come to Russ in a few moments for the player of the match. But there's so much going on the field at the moment. You can't take your eyes off this for a second. And that's going to run out of play. And where's that going to go? It's a Portuguese corner. So we've got 4.5 minutes of normal time to play. Remember, Horta had put Portugal ahead, but Kim Jong-gon equalised soon after. So the timings of the goals, first half. So that's the state of play right now. We'll try and get a few of your messages before we leave you later on today. Remember tonight, Brazil-Cameroon with Nicholas Jones on all the platforms. As the corner comes in, it's knocked away. And it goes towards halfway now. 4 minutes remain. And Russ Burnham will be choosing his man in the match in around about 2 minutes' time. So Russ has quickly got his thinking cap on. So we're going to just stick with this now. Next couple of minutes, and then we'll get Russ RV to choose his man in the match. Korea 1, Portugal 1 is the latest score in our commentary game on all TC Hub platforms, 4 YouTube channels and the Twitch channel. The YouTube channels are TC Hub, TC Hub 2, JB Sports, and Storm FM. So if you're listening to one of those YouTube channels, good evening to you all. If you're on Twitch, equally good evening to you all. As we now go towards the dying embers of Group H. Remember, Uruguay going through because they're winning 2-0 against Ghana, but a goal for South Korea could muddy the waters and change it all. And quite equally, if that was to happen along with Ghana scoring, then it would put Korea in the driving seat. So there's still a lot of twists and turns to go. 3 minutes to play. Portugal, however, are in possession and not prepared to rush around with the ball at this precise moment. Been a remarkable early evening here. It's gone, it's to and fro, but it's been drama all the way. There's no doubt about it. Brazil-Cameroon now will be a cracking game tonight, that's for sure. As I said, they are on world trotters of football. They are. You watch, the samba style of play is always worth the entrance fee alone. And you'll be able to hear that live and free with us on the TC Hub, on all the YouTube platforms and Twitch with Nicholas Jones, and around about 10 to 7 UK time. Here in Group H, it's still Son Heung-min now. Will he go on one creative run there? Not this time. Good defending there by number 14, William, who gets it away now. 2 minutes to go. We'll get Russ's views on man of the match in just a moment, but there's not been a breaking play, or there hasn't been a chance to get a breaking play. Here's Bernardo Silva, quite happy just to take it to the corners. Portugal feel that they've done their evening's work now and just playing out the motions in all other respects. They know they're going through before the ball was kicked tonight. before even the game got started. And here they are now on the far side. Number 15 charging forward, Liao. And the challengers come flying in. Referee, I thought for a moment was going to blow for a whistle, but they are taking it to the corners here. We're still waiting for a breaking play so I can get Russ's man in the match views. And Williams still has it now, deep inside Korean territory, 10 yards from the edge of the D. Here's Darrow, who's had a decent game, in my opinion, this evening. We're now into the last minute. Bernardo keeping possession here. And let's just see how this one develops. I think he's just going to, I think they're just toying with Korea at the moment. Well, whilst that's going on, let's go to Russ Vernon now for his man in the match, sponsored by Commentary Services.
Yes, and the player of the match, sponsored by the brilliant Commentary Services, has gone to Diego Dallo of Manchester United. It was his ball into the penalty area for Portugal's opener, which has put Portugal on the way, and then created bad. But he's played well down the right-hand side and has done well in the Diego Dallo. The Manchester United is our player of the match.
Yes, and a good decision as well. He's done really well, boundless running down the right-hand side. Portugal, meanwhile, have forced the corner. We've now played the 90 minutes. Now then, all eyes, 6 added minutes. Well, it could have been anything from 5 minutes to 21 minutes, but 6 it is. Remember, Paul James's match is 5 minutes behind, so there might be a chunk of stoppage time in that one as well, but anything can still happen. Son Heung-min is on the chase now. He's on his own against 3 or 4 Portuguese defenders, and he's found his way through to the penalty area. Chance here, goal! Well, it's changed significantly now. South Korea go in front. And what a change. Well, what does that mean now for the group? It really muddies the waters now, and, well, every commentator in the land will be getting their pocket calculators out. All the Korean substitutes running towards the goal scorer. And Cristiano Ronaldo has done it. It's Wang Hee-chan who has scored the goal, Russ. And this could be, well, what does that mean for Korea's future in this competition? We've played one of the 6 added minutes. And Wang Hee-chan, your mate from Wolves, has put Korea, well, back in the frame now to qualify.
Yes, he has, JB, and fantastic goal as well from Wang Hee-chan. It was a brilliant run from Heung-min Son to set it all up at first, JB. And he took it well, and he set it up well. He was all on his own at one stage, as we just watch it again on the monitor here. Brilliant run forward from Son Heung-min. He's all on his own, and look at Wang Hee-chan. Once from his inside his own half, just before the centre circle, going inside the penalty area. Well, he's onside, kept himself onside to put Korea 2-1 up, and could well be, depending on how the other game is going, and with the table in a minute, could potentially be putting Korea through to the next round.
Well, it seemed, well, you could tell what it meant to every Korean in the crowd. We don't know what this is going to mean. I'm trying to figure out how they could go through, because they're now level on points and goal difference as things stand. Could it go on head-to-heads? Could it go on disciplinary points? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of beaming smiles on Korean faces. And maybe Portugal were trying to be a little bit too cocky, maybe, by trying to play the corners, playing the corners too much into stoppage time. And they've been caught by the sucker punch. And that always happens in football, you know. But don't forget, folks, there's still a long way to go in the other game, because they're 5 minutes behind. And we don't know how much time is going to be added on at the end as the conclusion, we'll get the conclusion with that Uruguay game with Paul James as soon as we're done here. There's been a substitution. Cho has come off. And, well, Luis Suarez, now then, has that knocked them out of the tournament? Choi has come on. Number 24, Cho Young-moon, is now on. I wonder if that has put Korea through, because I'm now trying to fractiously get my thinking cap on at this moment in time. Luis, from the looks I saw there on this monitor of Luis Suarez, I'm going to cross the pole with James in just a second or two, and because he might know a little bit more about this situation than what we are doing at the moment. Let's cross the pole now and get his reactions to this all.
Well, I can tell you the news has filtered through here, and they look absolutely crestfallen on the Uruguayan bench. It does appear, if things stay the same, that South Korea will qualify. Uruguay come desperately close with Edison Cavani with a clear header, but what a super save by Ziggy has kept the score remaining. Uruguay need one more to qualify. Now, don't quote me on this, Russ, but I think it might be fair play is what is sending South Korea through, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they drew, didn't they, when the two teams met each other. So at the moment, though, Uruguay are heading out. That is for definite. If it stays the same, if they score one more, they'll go through. Back to you.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Paul. Ang Ichan was booked as well by taking his shirt off in the aftermath now, but put a Portugal goal would see Korea out. But so they've got about 1:15 of stoppage time to just get by. And then we'll be crossing the Paul James at the aftermath of this game to see if Uruguay can pull it around. Remember, they're 5 minutes behind on time. So we've played nearly 5 of the 6 minutes. So as things stand, so Korea would go through as things stand. Portugal would go through with 6 points. Korea, looking by Crook, would go through with 4 points. Uruguay would miss out also on 4 points. And I think Paul James could be right, Russ. It could go down to fair play.
Yes, I think it is down to fair play, JB, as well, I've been told. And I think because Korea have got less yellow cards than what Uruguay have in the tournament so far. So that's why South Korea are going through as things stand.
Wow, the plot thickens in Group H, and there's still drama to come even after the final whistle here, because we'll be crossing live to the Uruguay game with Paul James. There were 10 seconds of the 6 to play in this one. Cristiano Ronaldo must be fuming, because he would have wanted his team to finish the group with a flourish and get 3 wins out of 3. All eyes on the referee, Tello of Argentina, who I have to say has had a terrific game. Although Tello is our player in the match, sponsored by Commentary Services. We're still playing here. We're 11 seconds over the 6, and I should stress it's a minimum of. Soon as we're done here, we're crossing the Paul James for the conclusion of Group H. There's going to be a throw-in to South Korea, and they'll not take too much. They'll take as much time as it's legally possible, I would suggest, over this. But yes, yes. I think Russ has got a huge point there, because Uruguay's discipline could end up costing them dearly here. Luis Suarez, I heard in one of the reports Paul James compiled earlier on, had picked up a needless yellow card. It's little things like that could cost teams their passage through, and South Korea, and you have to say they've deserved it. So far, the whistle has gone. We played 97 minutes, and South Korea, as things stand, are going through. Yang Yi-chan's goal 2 minutes into stoppage time has beaten Portugal by 2-1. They did lead early doors for a goal scored by Horta after a great assist from Diego Dalot. Then Kim Young-Gwon got an equaliser, and then Yang Yi-chan got the winner in stoppage time. So it's finished 2-1 here, but there's still a massive amount of time to go. And I'm hearing there's 8 minutes of time added on, and we've had one of those minutes. So with that in mind, we'll get Russ's views afterwards. But now we're going to go to the final 8 minutes of that Uruguay game. Paul James to take you through to the end.
Thank you, JB, and what a time to join. Edison Cavani has gone down in the penalty area from a challenge by Seydu. The entire Uruguayan bench was up in unison on that. The referee said no, and there has been no VAR check. And Suarez is still up there complaining. So yes, definitely the yellow card situation has cost Uruguay. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4. They've had 5 yellow cards in this tournament so far. Another one was added as well for Uruguay when Coates got booked. So now the ball is launched into the box, and Ghana just trying to get the ball clear, but it's picked up and hacked back in there. But the Uruguayan forwards were not aware to that. The ball was just launched into the box that time by Maxi Gomez, and it just went straight through to Ziggy in the Uruguayan goal. So we've played almost half of the 8 minutes of stoppage time. Just to be clear now, Uruguay need another goal if they want to go through. They are heading out right now, and they're going to have the ball now right hugging the touchline there. Is Kira, Coffee Kira has got the ball there, and he's just dispossessed, or almost dispossessed, but Kira keeps the ball. He gets the cross in. It's chested down, and a chance of block that time by Kudos. And there's another opportunity down in the penalty area. Goes Ghana's 25, Samieno, but Uruguay can now break. Breaking forward here now is the shot comes in, and a wonderful save by Ziggy. The shot came in from Maxi Gomez. A wonderful save down to his right-hand side by Ziggy, and it's a corner to Uruguay. It's taken quickly. Over on the far side there, it's being swung in by Valverde. He's just blocked again, Valverde, and ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. The shot came in there from Gomez. Just didn't quite get enough power on it, but it's a really smart save by Ziggy. And yeah, JB, it certainly is some finish. And you can see Suarez, he is desperate on the Uruguayan bench for this third goal. And the crowd look very, very nervous. And the Uruguayan head coach, Daniel Alonso, is also looking a little bit nervous there. Here's Partey. Ball out on the far side. It's Kudos. Played into the middle to Samieno. And the ball is played in, but it's being able to be taken away here. But not far enough. It's about a poor giveaway by Canobio, and Ghana get the ball back, but they give it away, and the ball is played long now, and just in the midfield there is Valverde trying to create something. His ball is a poor one. It's comfortably intercepted by Amate, and over on the far side there was Babo, and it's given away, and Uruguay have the ball back. And it's here's an opportunity. It's played across by it. Oh, well, the ball was played across there by Edison Cavani, and in the end, it was just pushed wide. We're just trying to see who that was from. By Coates, got on the end of that one, but it's just wide. Oh, he was put off a little bit by the number 18 Amate, and in the end it just goes wide. Well, time running out for Uruguay. The Ghana head coach, Daniel Alonso is trying to tap at his watch, demanding that the referee do something because Ziggy is taking his time here. Well, I think we know by now that that's going to be punished in the time added on section. Now we've got the final substitution for Ghana. It looks like number 7 is coming on. Isoka, and coming off is Kudos. So that's the final substitution for Ghana. Isoka is coming on, and Kudos is coming off. And it's out of play for a throw-in. Russ says, what drama feels like a Premier League final day? Yeah, it certainly does. It's definitely interesting. Valera takes a throw-in for Uruguay. He's going to have to chase that back and try again. He goes all the way back to Rocher with the second throw-in. Rocher plays the ball out as Uruguay tend to start from the back. Here is Varela again, and he launches the ball forward. And Cavani is chasing that one, but it goes all the way through to Ziggy. And he clears outfield. We've had the 8 minutes now. We are now in whatever discretion the referee chooses to add. Our referee today is Daniel Siebert from Germany. And Ghana have the ball on the far side, and it's just knocked out of play. That ball by Xhaka was knocked out of play by himself, actually. And the goal kick is taken quickly by Rocheta. We are now, it's a free kick to Uruguay, about 30 yards out for the foul on Gomez. And a yellow card is in fact issued. I'm just not quite sure who that was to. It was to Seydou. Now, Seydou he misses the next match as a consequence. So if Ghana do go through, which is looking extremely unlikely at this point, Seydou will miss that. And the free kick now to Uruguay. There's a few players standing over it. Well, I can tell you that Suarez looks absolutely demented, actually, over on that side. But let's see now. Over this one is I'm just trying to figure out who that is. It's Valverde over this one, but there's also the number 10. Not the number 10. The shot's taken in by Valverde, and it's a comfortable save by the goalkeeper, Ziggy. And that's it. That's the final whistle. Well, we played just over 9 minutes in the end. Suarez is in tears on the bench. Uruguay are out by fair play rules. A lack of discipline has cost them. They go out. Portugal and South Korea go through. And, well, what an exciting time. This game has come to an end. Cavani is arguing with the referee. There's another yellow card, this time issued to Cavani. Not that it matters at this point. But the referee is having to be escorted off. The Uruguayan players are completely lost it. They're almost chasing the referee off the field. And it's Gomez is over there. Varela is down on his backside. The Uruguayan fans are upset, but there is definitely some anger directed towards the official Daniel Siebert. And finally, that all seems to have calmed down. The referee was ushered off the pitch by officials and being chased by about 3 or 4 Uruguayan players. So the game is over. Uruguay do go home. 2 goals by De Araceta is not enough to save Uruguay's World Cup. They had the chances, 1 or 2 chances in the second half, but they really let their performance slip. At the start, after I'd say about 10 minutes of the second half, Ghana started to take control of the game. They had a couple of chances, some good saves by Rocher, one particularly which was blazed at the goalkeeper and was just over, as another one that was just over by Kudos, and another attempt from the edge of the penalty area that was shot just wide also was a chance. But Uruguay have also had their chances. Edison Cavani with a free header just as you joined us. It was saved by Ziggy. But the final score here is it's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. Uruguay are going home, so are Ghana, and Portugal and Korea go through. JB, back to you.
What a disgraceful set of circumstances from Uruguay. Discipline, absolutely pathetic. They can't take defeat graciously. 4 of them chasing the referee down the tunnel. I think it's an absolute disgrace. And I'm glad they're at the World Cup, quite frankly, because that sort of discipline shouldn't be allowed in the World Cup. Well done to Korea. Well done to Portugal, obviously. Russ Vernon, wow. I mean, we've only got a few seconds. We've only got about 2 or 3 minutes left. But the joy here in the stadium when Korea found out they'd done enough was unbelievable. What can you say about that?
Fantastic from Korea, JB. I said at the start of the second half in the commentary, all they need to do is just focus on themselves and then look elsewhere once they've done their job. They did the job in the end. Wang Yi-chan off of the bench to do it for
well.
One of the people I thought should be starting for them today. He did well, and then they came, and then when they found out the winning when they found out that Uruguay had lost, the jubilant scenes on the pitch. You saw one of the coaching staff have the other game on his phone with all of the players crowded round watching it. And I'm just looking here with the goal. Son had 6 players around him and somehow still managed to squeeze the ball through into Wang Yi-chan, who was onside, to score for Korea to knock out Uruguay. Fantastic. And Portugal, when they were at a corner, they had 8 players inside the box. That majority of the outfield players inside the box had 8 inside the box, 1 taking the corner, 1 shot. So that all their outfield players inside the opposition half. And Korea just broke from their own half with Son and Wang Yi-chan both from inside his own half. So he was onside and he just broke the length of the field and just slotted him nicely. You saw Son Heung-min at full time as well, crying as well. He's still crying now. A lot of the Korean players are crying, but let me tell our listeners, it's happy tears that they are crying. But what a final day this has been in Group H. It seemed to me, JB, not sure what you think. I know Paul agreed. It felt like it was the Premier League final day, and one of these teams needed to stay up on the final day, and Korea have done it.
Yes, they've done a
Leeds. Like it was.
Yes, they've done a Leeds and stayed up. Let me finish off with Paul James. Paul, you look at the scenes at the end compared to the you look at the scenes at the end of South Korea. I mean, the Uruguayans were a complete disgrace at the final whistle. I've seen the footage. It's they behave like complete animals. And if I'm being honest, Paul, the tournament's better off without them if they're going to behave in that sort of fashion. Your reaction to what's been a terrific second half of football in both games?
Oh yeah, it's definitely been very, very exciting. Just to touch on your point, it's kind of ironic that they're going out on the fair play rule, because you just saw their actions there, their behaviour, their reaction, absolutely disgraceful. And you can see why they've gone out on the fair play rule. If this is the way that they react, it's cost them their World Cup place, and they continue to react in this manner. It's absolutely incredible. A total of 7 yellow cards for Uruguay in this competition. And I feel sorry for their fans, because it must be so incredibly frustrating for their fans for them to go out on yellow cards. But to be honest with you, when they behave like that, you deserve to go out.
Absolutely. I don't feel sorry for anybody wearing a Uruguay shirt. I do share your sympathy with the Uruguayan supporters. It must be frustrating. But, let's finish on a great note. South Korea, they did, last time they got through, they didn't do it by fair means. Tonight they did, and they were superb second half. They were brilliant. But, what an end to Group H. My thanks to Paul James with the updates. Thank you, Paul. And big thanks to Russ Vernon too. It's been a night. It's been a terrific game, terrific afternoon tea time football feast. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Just time to tell you that in around about just under 2 hours' time, Nicholas Jones will be with you with live coverage of Brazil against Cameroon, live alternate commentary on that one. Stay tuned for that one if you can with Nicholas at around about 10 to 7 tomorrow evening. But today, for so long, it looked as if Uruguay had it in the bag, and then the substitute Yang Yi-chan, the Wolverhampton Wanderers player, has just sent the whole of South Korea, or 1 billion of them, into absolute ecstasy and raptures. The disgraceful behavior of the Uruguayans at the final whistle showed everything what you needed to know about their reaction to it. But let's finish with the positive. Well done to South Korea. They play to a man, and as Russ Vernon quite rightly said, what a ball from Son Heung-min, and what a run, surrounded by 6 Portuguese players. He found Wang, who shot beautifully past the goalkeeper into the far right-hand corner. It's they and Portugal who go through. Ghana and Uruguay deservedly miss out. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed everything that's happened. Join Nicholas in less than 2 hours' time. But for me, JB Johnston, I hope you've enjoyed the programme, and we'll see you later on with Nicholas Jones. For me and Russ and Paul, good night.